In this video we will understand Unit 8, Gender Issues in Work and Labor Market. Let's start. 1. Introduction. Previous unit covered employment concepts and gendered division of labor. Learners should understand labor and employment concepts. The current unit focuses on gender and employment issues. Topics include underenumeration of women's work, norms of decent work, feminization, marginalization, informalization, sexual harassment, glass ceiling, and double burden for women. 2. Enumeration of work, labor market. Enumeration is a collection of items listed in order. Government of India estimates economically active population through Census of India. The concept of a worker was introduced in the 1961 census. Indian National Sample Survey collects data on participation in work. Feminists have worked to include women's work in surveys. Official statistics show women lagging in various aspects of life. Data collection systems do not reflect the value of women's work. Efforts have been made to include women's work in data collection systems. 3. What constitutes a women's work? Women primarily work indoors, while men work outdoors. Women's work is often within households, while men work in the public sphere. Traditional norms assign household tasks to women in developed countries. Agriculture and household production units involve family members working in non-wage employment. Women's productive work is often confined to the private, indoor domain of the household. 4. Under-enumeration and undervaluation of women's work. Women's productive contributions are often invisible. Enumerators typically contact male family members, leading to undervaluation of women's work. Socialization processes contribute to men valuing women's work less. 5. Decent work. Decent work for all, concept introduced by the International Labour Organization, ILO. Consists of 4 pillars: employment and enterprise, rights at work, social protection, and dialogue. Aims to create just, sustainable, and equitable societies. Women's access to decent work is affected by the double burden of combining reproductive and productive work. 6. Globalization and women's employment. Globalization leads to competition, free trade, and integration of economies. Women increasingly join the workforce. But conditions become precarious and flexible. The United Nations calls this the feminization of employment. Women often have patchwork careers due to interruptions like childbearing. Globalization impacts labor market context for women. 7. Feminization of employment and labor force. More women worldwide are entering the workforce. 2 developments: crowding of employment market by women and precarious employment conditions. Women have patchwork careers due to various interruptions. Full-time employment with security becomes rare. 8. Women's low wages and inability to oppose poor conditions make them attractive to employers. Globalization leads to social and economic marginalization of women. Women are often overrepresented in the informal sector due to flexible work. Societal expectations exploit women's roles in reproductive and caregiving. 9. Sexual harassment at workplace. Sexual harassment at the workplace affects women's safety and dignity. It is an extension of male power due to patriarchy. The Vishakha judgment defines sexual harassment and provides guidelines for prevention and redress. 10. Sex work, labor market. India has a significant number of sex workers. There are 3 approaches to sex work: legalization, decriminalization, and sex work as a human right. The debate revolves around consent in sex work. 11. Servicization. The service sector is vital for women's employment, particularly in education, health services, and domestic work. Women concentrate in community, social, and personal services, including domestic work. The prominence of paid domestic work has increased, becoming one of the most important sectors for unskilled women workers in urban areas. 12. Glass ceiling. Women face obstacles in both entering and moving up in employment. The glass ceiling refers to the barriers women face in moving up in their chosen fields. Organizations prefer hiring women in lower positions, leading to less control and lower wages. 13. Double burden. Women entering the labor market does not reduce domestic responsibilities. Women continue to manage housework and childcare. This results in a double shift, or double burden, as women work longer hours. Women's employment is often linked to their care work, leaving them with less time and resources. Migration. Women workers migrate to urban areas or other countries for better paying work. This is often related to informal employment. Women migrants face various challenges, such as poor living conditions, exploitation, and difficulties providing care for their children. Social protection. Flexible labor markets reduce workers' rights to unionize. This leads to job insecurity as jobs shift to smaller, informal establishments. Women often end up in poorly remunerated, casual, and insecure employment. Lack of support for unpaid family care responsibilities affects women's well-being and access to labor markets. The notes of this chapter is provided into description of this video. Thank you.